Yeah, thanks, Vinod. And yeah, so just want to go through a few of the things that, few of the plans that we have for the next few months. As you all know, that the T20 World Cup qualifier is happening mid-February. So all the planning is done, and we are moving ahead with the camp soon. So we will be selecting 30 players, and will be released today evening or tomorrow morning. The 30-man squad will be announced, and the camp will be start as soon as possible from there. So it's going to be kind of a two-phase camp where we're going to assess all these 30 players and going to work through with them into the T20 qualifier. And after about 10 to 12 days, we'll be having the PM Cup. PM Cup we have actually requested to have it in a T20 version because that we are preparing for the World Cup qualifier. During that, the all the players will be back again released to play the PM Cup. So, but because the reason for that is I'm actually coming fresh to the to Nepal actually, and I was off from Nepal cricket for the last 4 years, so there are many players that I have not seen, and there are a lot of new young talent. So I wanted them to play the PM Cup, everyone, and so that I can actually see them in the match situation. So everyone will be released to play the PM Cup, and then from there we will revisit all the players, and from there we'll be selecting the final 40 plus maybe a few reserves to go to the Oman for the World Cup T20 squad. And so after the PM Cup, also the Mayor's Cup will be followed up because it's a 50. We want to have the 50 over version as well because we might have to play ODI series after the T20 qualifier. So few games, Mayor's Cup will be followed by the PM Cup, and then from there we're going to focus on training until we leave to Oman. And there are a few discussions going on, the pre-preparation to the T20 like a series, but nothing is confirmed at the moment. But very soon that those details will be out. So that's the basic plan we have going into the T20 World Cup qualifier. About the squad and about these current issues, like I was able to discuss, I was able to sit down with both parties and separately with players as well, with small groups, just to understand the whole issue. So with the CAN side, what I got from them was the decisions that they have made regarding this issue. They are actually sticking to the decision that they made regarding the captain, so that the captaincy will not be changed, and I guess the cricket association have all the rights to make that decision, and and that decision will continue and stays as it is. And at the same time, the other issues about the contracts or any other issue, CAN is very flexible and very helpful to resolve those, and they have asked me to propose what we need to be done, to resolve the other issues. And I actually requested CAN and the president to take out the suspension of these 4 players for this contract and to revoke back. So they are very positive about that. and all the other issues, like I got fully support from the CAN, and they are willing to resolve any suggestions from my side. So I feel that we are in a very good situation at the moment, and but again, like the captaincy issue will not reverse anything in that regard, and I think again, like I said, like everywhere in the world, the board has the right to make that decision, and we all have to respect that. So that's the basic plan moving forward, and I also wanted to mention, like some of you all already very fully aware, like how I was like a part of the Nepal team in between 2011 to 15, and I'm going to put my best effort to have the best setup environment for the national team and the players group. I want players to work really, work hard and put their 200% in the training and give their best effort and perform for the national team. And in return, I never ask things free. I will make sure that all the players will be happy from every angle, and that environment will be created within the system. So that's the basic information that I can provide, and there will not be any issues for the players or with the system, and I really want to bring the positiveness in this into the system with the players, with CAN, with the support staff, where the player-centered environment where they can play at the best on the field.
Thank you, Coach. Ramesh, you want to add something?
I think we'll take the questions.
Basically, it's an interaction with press and coach, so we'll leave the floor open for any questions that you might have. So, any questions, somebody please raise your hand, and then I would request if the other members could keep silent, and then we'll be able to hear it better and answer it better. Vinod sir, please.
So, did you have a talk with players, especially 4 players, captain and others too? Did you have a table talk with them?
Yeah, I had actually not small meetings, long meetings. So just to understand what they want and all the issues. Yeah, so I was able to get their full insight.
How was their reaction?
I mean, it's I understand from their point of view as players, but I'm in a situation where I cannot bring back anything what happened before I came here. But I can assure, but the assurance that I have given is, when I'm here and moving into the future, they'll be treated properly, and everybody will have an environment to play the best cricket, and that's my guarantee for the playing group.
They are ready to back the team?
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they but I cannot speak for them. But the things were discussed very well, and when the camp starts, basically we will know the rest.
Coach, what if they don't want to play again if Gyanendra don't get the captaincy?
I mean, now, firstly, I hope that will not happen. But secondly, like, you know, I think it's a national team, so it's the whole country, if you ask my point of view for it, like, I don't think that we can hold for any individual. I think it's a fair call where we have to move forward with the best that we have. But I'm still positive that you know, I mean, once the camp being called, the players will be in the hotel, and I will have more opportunity to sit down and discuss things, and show them the plans that we are going to do in the future. I'm hoping that things will get eased once the camp starts.
We have only about 45 to 50 days to start the global qualifier. Don't you think this sort of issue will affect on the performance of the team?
That's the reason that we want to solve it within the next 2-3 days. I think we have enough time. You know, when you take the time, it's about 45 days before the first game, starting from January 1st. I'm hoping to resolve everything once the camp starts, and once I have the players in front of me, the whole group, and then once we are ready to with all these issues, like, you know, once we have sorted out all these issues, only I'm going to take them to the ground. So first 1 or 2 days we will be sitting in a room and iron out all the issues.
Do you see any possibility that the reviewers of the decision that can have made regarding the captaincy?
No, that will not happen, because I mean, I sat with the president and had a very good discussion, not only with the president, the secretary, treasurer, and some board members, and that's the board decision. And as a coach, I cannot challenge that. I have respect, you know, their views and their decisions, and they're solid on that. That will not leave us back.
It means we have either to convince the player or let them to whatever they decide.
The players' concerns about, you know, the contracts and other little issues will be solved 100%, and with that we have to move forward.
Coach, you have already mentioned about we have only 1.5 months. It is right time to play domestic tournament, or we have less time to play
The main reason, even for me, like, you know, I was not fully aware of the current local players. I want to see the talent fully. It's not that I want to just get a squad of players and work with them, start working with them. I would like to, even for the current players and then the new talent, I want to see them playing. So that's one of the major reasons that I really wanted to have this T20 version, and so that we can pick up the best, because the first phase of this camp, I'll be working with the players to fix the team roles in the first 11. Who's going to be the openers, who's going to play the middle order, and who are the finishers, bowling department, the whole structure. And I will have a decent idea in the first 10 days, and then I want them to go and play in their team in that role, so that I will see whether they, even though we have planned, whether they can achieve that in a game situation. And if somebody else can do that from that tournament, I'll be interested to see that as well. So that's the whole idea about having a local tournament within this camp.
Are you impressed with the camp plan?
But when you say clan plans, it's like, you know, basically they were very open for me to, you know, make my plans, and these are more than half of these plans are like, you know, I bought these ideas and with help of Vinod and Ronak, and we presented to the CAN members, and they were happy. They shared their ideas, and that's how we came up with the final plan.
T20 फर्मेटमा गरौँ. It makes all the more sense, किनकि हामी T20 World Cup क्वालिफायर जस्तो इभेन्ट खेल्न जाँदैछौँ. So यो पल्टलाई हामीले रिक्वेस्ट पठाएको छौँ एन्ड दे बिन भेरी पोजिटिभ अबाउट इट. सो वन्स द अप्रुभल कम्स भोलि आउनुपर्ने हो. सो वन्स इट कम्स सेम डेटमै त्यसलाई T20 फर्मेटमा गर्ने प्लान छैन. सचिव स्तरीय निर्णय गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने हामीले रिक्वेस्ट गरेका छौँ. बिकज इट इज समथिङ द्याट कन्सर्न्स नेसनल टिम र इम्पोर्टेन्ट भएको कारणले गर्दा as Pugutu said, there was an easier route to take कि हामी 20-25 जना छानौँ क्याम्प राखौँ अनि त्यहाँबाट प्लेयर सेलेक्ट गरेर जे जस्तो हुन्छ लिएर जाउँ भनेर. बट I'm happy with the idea that he floated कि how about giving an opportunity to all those players who have not been able to make it to the list of 30. So we keep it open. हामी जबसम्म we don't reach the deadline of submitting the list to the ICC, we will keep on searching for players who are good enough to represent Nepal. So the goal is to take the best 14-15 players to the event, and the door will be open for everybody. I believe it is going to happen on the same date. Only format will be reconsidered. So maybe they push to 25 गतेतिर नै हामी सुरु गर्न हेर्दैछौँ. Pending NSC approval.
सेन्ट्रल कन्ट्याक्टमा भएको प्लानले
त्यो एउटा प्लान चाहिँ थियो. बट अगेन कोच सेड why not give them an opportunity to try out their roles in their respective teams पनि, which was pretty much welcomed by all of us. किन नदिने भनेर. And if it's a T20 format, the tournament is not going to run for a long period of time. र यो बिचमा पनि इट्स नट कि जुन बेला टुर्नामेन्ट हुन्छ त्यो बेला प्लेयरहरू क्याम्पमा हुँदैनन्. All those players whom we've been looking at, they will be training on their off days with the coach. So it's an ongoing camp where there is an opportunity, each and everyone will get involved. त्यो भयो भने we will go into another modality that has already been discussed. तर यो हामीले तपाईहरुलाई भन्नुभन्दा पहिले हामी मौखिक रूपमा उहाँहरुलाई जानकारी गराइसकेका छौं. And I don't see a reason कि visit भएर एक दिवसीयमै हुनुपर्छ भन्ने केही नै हुनुपर्छ भन्ने केही रिजिडिटी राख्ने ठाउँ चाहिँ म देख्दिन. But again it's a राखेपको call हो and we will respect whatever comes from there. But then we have a backup plan for that as well.
यो हुन लागेको भनेको अथवा ओमानमा गएर खेल्न लागेको भनेको इन्टरनेसनल बिफोर द त्यो ग्लोबल क्वालिफायर टुर्नामेन्टहरुको बारेमा
त्यसको बारेमा अहिले नभन्नु होला किनभने अगेन बिफोर वी डिसाइड एन्ड मेक अ कन्ट्र्याक्ट इट्स नट गुड टु पुट इट इन्टु पब्लिक कन्जम्सन किनभने स्पेसली यो लुकिङ एट द टाइम वी आर लिभिङ इन भोलि कोभिडको केसेसहरू के हुन्छ ट्राभल रिस्ट्रिक्सनहरू के हुन्छ प्रोटोकल्सहरू के हुन्छ वी डु नट नो एन्ड क्रिकेट इन एनी वेज इज अ भेरी एक्सपेन्सिभ अफेयर दिस डेज जहाँ पनि गयो 2 दिन 3 दिनको क्वारेन्टिन PCR टेस्ट दिस एन्ड द्याट सो everything got to be looked into. So hopefully as soon as we have a confirmation, we will come to you with the confirmation.
त्यो क्वालिफायर भन्दा अगाडि हुने भनेको टुर्नामेन्ट भएन भने चाहिँ हाम्रो प्लान के छ त त्यो विदेशमा गएर प्रशिक्षण गर्ने कुरालाई लिएर
त्यसको लागि पनि हामी दुईटा प्लान एटलिस्ट बनाएर हिँडिरहेछौँ. एउटा त as it's been in the media already, we are trying to have a series with some good teams before the qualifier. But if that does not work out, we are looking for a place where we could go and play some competitive matches as well. So again, still we've got about 45 days. So at least we are 1 month away from where we जुन बेला त्यो कल लिनु पर्छ. So we will take this 1 month to prepare for that and let's see.
दाइ एउटा कुरा सोधेँ अब तपाईँले दिँदा ठिक कि अब पुदुले दिँदा ठिक होइन. जस्तो अहिले हाम्रो नेसनल टिममा होइन एक हिसाबले होइन दुईवटा फ्र्याक्सन जस्तो देखिसकेको छ होइन. एउटा ज्ञानेन्द्र ग्याङ एउटा सन्दीप ग्याङ भन्ने जस्तो होइन. अलिक सन्दीप यहाँ नभएकोले गर्दाखेरि होइन त्यो कुरा एड्रेस गर्नलाई चाहिँ कतिको प्रब्लम भइरहेछ जस्तो लाग्छ. ठिक
I'm happy that you asked that question. This is a very straightforward answer from me. Moving forward, there'll be only one team, and it's Nepal national team, and who wants to represent proudly that Nepal logo in their chest, in their forehead, will be in that group. And it's just one way. Anybody cannot do that. Will not be there. It doesn't matter, the player ranking or anything. It's just that like we want the best players to play but I'm very concerned about team atmosphere, who's really hungry to represent the country. So that will be one team, one goal.
Coach, how do you see Sandeep Lamisane as captain?
If I had to talk about this was Sandeep, he's been a gifted player. He was suddenly brought into the national team and he performed, and then he was picked up with the best leagues around the world. And I don't think any associate player, maybe other than Rashid Khan is a full-member player now, but any other associate player is not in that caliber. So he's very fortunate to play in that highest level. And once you play in that highest level, and especially, I just have to mention this because there are leagues around the world like PSL to Caribbean leagues to, but IPL is a very high standard. But knowing the Big Bash standard and the Australian level of cricket that they play, somebody to go and perform and be shoulder to shoulder with the best players in the world, and that in that setup, by itself is great experience. And I don't think that anyone in associate cricket have that experience. So I know that he was under 19 captain for Nepal, and then he was doing the EPL captaincy in one team. But still, having said that, he has to be tested as a leader. There are a lot of challenges for him as a player and as a person. But one big confidence that I have with him is he's been gifted things for him, and I'm confident that even this captaincy also I think he got this leadership without any expectations. Suddenly he got it, and the way that he have come through in the last 3-4 years, I'm expecting him to be very successful in that role as well.
बन्द प्रशिक्षण अब आउँदो 2 दिनमै सुरु हुन्छ, किनभने आज हामीले लिस्ट आउट आजै गर्ने हो। भोलिदेखि प्लेयरबाट रिपोर्टिङ स्टार्ट गर्नुहुनेछ र पर्सिदेखि चाहिँ एक्चुअल ट्रेनिङ स्टार्ट हुन्छ।
काठमाडौँमै हुन्छ कि त्यही पोखरामा?
द्याट वी विल अगेन इन्फर्म बाई टुमोरो मर्निङ, किनभने हामीसँग केही लजिस्टिकल इस्युजहरू पनि आइराखेको छ जुन कि वी आर ट्राइङ टु ट्याकल। वी हेभ गट 2 venues shortlisted and we are working on both of it. So hopefully by tomorrow morning we will have an answer to that.
खेलाडी संख्या चाहिँ सेन्ट्रल कन्ट्याक्टमा भएको मात्र हो।
सरी,
खेलाडी संख्या चाहिँ सेन्ट्रल कन्ट्याक्टमा भएको मात्र हो।
होइन, हामीले अघि नै मेन्सन गरिसक्यौँ, हामीले एटलिस्ट 30 जनालाई चाहिँ फर्स्ट पेजमा बोलाउने कुरा छ। बट बाई नो मिन्स द्याट 30 लिस्ट इज अ फाइनल लिस्ट। हामीले त्यसमा चाहिँ चप एन्ड चेन्ज गरिरहेको छौँ। सो त्यो 30 जना मध्येबाट मेबी केही प्लेयरलाई रिलिज गरेर इफ वी फिल द निड अफ कलिङ अदर प्लेयर्स वी विल डु द्याट। सो 30 जनाको प्रिलिमिनरी स्क्वाड चाहिँ 30 जनाको हुन्छ।
Namaste सबैजनालाई। Good evening, boss, and first of all, welcome to Nepal once again. My question is, here in Nepal, we admire you as a legend, the man of hope and jobs, and the creation, function designer of Nepali cricket. In coaching history, you have set already a huge milestone and extraordinary achievement. So the time has changed now, but under these different circumstances, how do you expecting and how do you looking for your second inning? Because we have a major journey in for the days, qualifying in the World Cup and the maintaining our ODI nations. So what are you expecting in your further days, and how do you looking for your second inning? Thank you very much, boss.
Yeah, thank you. And for your first question, I'm very glad to be back here again. I always had a very soft corner for Nepal, and the 4 years that I spent between 2011 to 15, there's great memories, and I think even though I want to achieve more, I think still we achieved very decent level. Now, when I came in 2011, it was team was in Division 4, and the challenges were different, and the environment was different, and so I think we worked through that whatever we had and achieved whatever the highest we can. Now to be here in this year, like the Nepal team is an ODI status country and a T20 status country, and the players have grown up into different level. Some of the players have got opportunity to play at the highest level outside Nepal. So the environment is pretty different, and the challenges are going to be different as well. But from my experience as a coach, I'm very accustomed to these things. And if I had to talk about my last job in USA, it's a very similar situation where there are some great players in USA, and I had to put them together as a team. So there was a lot of challenges I had in that first maybe 1.5 years, and then I was able to get through that. I see the very similar challenges in Nepal at the moment from when you talk about from the team point of view. So I'm ready for that, and I'm very confident which way I need to go as a coach, and I'm very confident that I can bring all these issues into basically out of the system and build up a very good environment and a system where Nepal team can focus on making the heights. And when you talk about the goals that we have in front, and I already talked with GM and we know about having some goals to the future, which we'll come up with those plans in a later date. Nepal needs to be one of the top. I mean, it has to be the top ODI status country, and Nepal has that. The whole ingredients in this country. I would say I've been saying this even in my last period as well, where Nepal has the best talents coming through from younger generation, where no other associate country has that. I mean, if you look into all the associate countries, most of the countries have expats players coming from other countries and representing that country once they are qualified to play. But Nepal is not. Nepal has their own. But initially, the targets are I think Nepal need to get into every T20 World Cup qualifier from now on. I mean, to the World Cup, not to the qualifier, getting through the qualifier and getting into the World Cups. So that I want to see the Nepal getting accustomed into that level where you play every World Cup. I mean, if you go back to see teams like Oman, where Oman grown up like they basically played the last three T20 World Cups, right? So with that you can see the players have improved by staying in that level. So I wanted to see that Nepal also getting into that system and getting accustomed into that highest level of cricket. And when it comes to ODIs, ODI structure is very hard associated to get into the World Cup. But I really want to see Nepal getting in there. And I'm not going to be satisfied with just getting the ODI, continuing the ODI status. I want to see that Nepal get into the T50 World Cup as well. And we are going to work really hard to achieve those goals.